Hello everyone, this is Gabriele from A Third Eye Seer, and this is...
I'm Hawk.
This is Uncle Hawk.
Hey.
And well, we're both astrologers.
We're doing a series of planets and houses. And we'll start with Saturn.
In the houses.
What is Saturn all about?
It's quite a heavy energy. It's quite an energy of difficulty and hardship, and it makes people frown.
Saturn's house of joy is in the 12th. Why is Saturn comfortable in the 12th house? It's because it's the house of sorrow.
Oh.
And it suits him very well.
Oh.
Yeah?
That makes a lot of sense. Oh, dear.
Yes. Saturn is also about discipline, self-discipline, imposing discipline. It's about organizing. It's about
Structure.
Yeah, structure, and therefore planning well ahead so that nothing can fail.
So wherever Saturn is in your chart, it signifies an energy where there is not good enough. There will be a need for you to do something about it in order to make it good enough.
Yeah, plan ahead so that you don't fail, because Saturn is afraid of failure.
Or you work hard at it. Wherever it is in your chart, it is a part of you that is afraid of rejection, that is afraid of failing.
And therefore it holds the facade of being serious. Well, I mean, Saturn is serious. There's a lot of formality involved. Reserved, aloof, not so friendly.
Rigid.
Follow the rules. Don't do anything wrong.
And of course, all of these really differs when we put them in the different signs. So Saturn is naturally a very ambitious planet. Because it is so ambitious, because you want to be so good at it, there's always a pessimism. Because it's like, okay, I want to be here, but right now I'm always here. And what happens in Saturn is that usually people look at the gap, and rather than just the destination and focusing on destination, the pessimism and the seriousness, and
It needs to work really hard to get there. So it believes that if you don't have hard work, you can't get up there. So it would make a lot of effort to get there, and it doesn't believe in shortcuts, because it doesn't believe shortcuts will get you there because you didn't work for it.
even though that is not wrong, perhaps sometimes what people need who are very Saturnian, like me, is to understand that not everything is about working hard. It's about taking a step back. It's about realignment. It's about finding out how to get there. It's not about working hard all the time. Sometimes people who are very Saturnian, they can be so fixated in their structure. Saturn is about structure anyway, that they don't see any other way.
Okay, Saturn is also about maturity, responsibility, and all the things that come with being older. Slightly wiser, more responsible, being mature, doing things the right way, basically being quite serious.
Shall we start?
Okay, Saturn in the first house.
First house is literally how you look, how you show up in, how you want people to see you.
Yeah, you project yourself as someone being responsible, serious, and not spontaneous,
Yes.
afraid to let loose.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about how they would dress. They would be formal, mostly. Suits and ties would suit them. The corporate look, maybe. Not too casual.
And it's not just, that's why it's not about the way they dress. It's not just about the way they dress. It's also about because first house is literally how people see you, the first look, the first impression. So it's not just about the way they dress. That's why we talk about the body as well, because, you know, working out the body, it's the presence, it's how you show up, it's how people see you, right? If you're buff and all that, people see you as, oh, okay, this person has some kind of substance. You know, Saturn, people with Saturn in the first house, they care about looking across as someone with a lot of substance, that they are together.
Yeah.
That they are,
So when they first meet you, it's, hello sir, how are you?
how
I'm
are
Mr.
you?
Wong.
hi.
I'm not Mr. Wong, but
Yeah, but Mr.
I'm Mr.
Liu.
Wong. Yes. How are you doing? Here is my card.
Yes. People with Saturn in the first house, sometimes in the early part of their life, so life can be very, very difficult for them. And I will also say that because Saturn is also about scarcity, because Saturn is all about not good enough, right? And therefore there's a sense of scarcity, right? So Saturn in the first house people,
Scarcity.
they will they will generally have the sense of their life is scarce, that their resources are scarce, they themselves are scarce or not good enough, therefore they need to work harder.
I think that's it.
I think that's Saturn in the second house. I shall start because I have Saturn in the second house. So second house is about finances, your values, your sense of self-worth, what you have or don't
Your
have.
own resources.
Your own resources.
What you feel is valuable to yourself. What would you put money to? a money value to it. What's that funny advertisement? I'm worth it. Or something.
Oh, because she's worth it. Because you're worth it. Because is it Maybelline or Maybelline?
Okay, no advertising.
Okay, never mind. Next. Okay, but Saturn in the second house, one of the common manifestation is when they go for job interviews, they will not ask for the higher tier salary. Straight away, the first thing they will do is they will undercut themselves. Sometimes they may be the best candidate in the room, but because of Saturn in the second house, they will automatically ask for a lower pay.
Saturn is also about a delay. So usually when Saturn in that house, it could be a delay of the affairs of that house for that person. So it could be that money is hard to come by in second house, and maybe more money will come a bit slower and maybe later in life. Hey, that's good.
Yeah, so this is something that I look forward to, which is that money will eventually come, and eventually somewhere maybe 30 years down the road.
A bit slow, usually.
I mean it's slow. There's something to look forward to, which is that 30 years down the road, I'll be probably the most valuable astrologer in the world. Thank you.
It's also what your attitude is towards your own resources, and usually that means money. So you would be a bit stingy.
Yeah. I agree.
Because
they are the type that really has a scarcity mindset. Like I don't have enough. So this is my story. My story in my life is I don't have enough. I never have enough. Okay. But the strange thing is when something comes along and it's super duper expensive, but it's something that I covet or I desire, I will pay for it.
Yeah, because it's a quality that will last.
It's
Saturn wants things to last.
It's the idea of quality.
Yeah, it's quality.
Yeah, it's the idea that it's good enough, and if I own it, if I have it, then I'm also good.
I think the brand thing comes into the picture as well, because it's telling other people that I have this brand which everyone recognizes to be up there. That's what Saturn is about.
Yeah.
And a recognition, a reputation.
Saturn in the second.
That's it for now.
Okay, so Saturn in the third house. Okay.
You know somebody.
Oh yes, I know somebody who's Saturn in the third house, and she's a teacher. So third house is about the way you think, the way you communicate,
learning.
But the kind of learning is an early childhood kind of learning, technical learning.
And sometimes it's just about learning things in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Communication, transportation.
Third house is also about gathering of information, absorbing knowledge.
Don't forget about relatives and siblings and immediate environment.
It's also about mental processes, mental models. So with Saturn in the third house, what can happen is...
I think Saturn is the disciplinarian. So in a school situation, this is quite common, where he's the taskmaster, enforcing discipline for people to do their homework. He's not very popular.
But Saturn in the third house will generally, when it comes to communication, when it comes to sending emails, they put in a lot of effort.
Yeah, because they need to make sure the sentence is right, and did he say the right thing? He doesn't want to fall out of line. But then the good thing to say about them is they are responsible for what they say.
Yes, they are very responsible. Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Right, Ian.
I also say that people with Saturn in the third house, they can be quite sensitive to being called stupid, especially when in their early childhood years, there may be a sibling which belittles them, or even the teachers may validate their stupidity, and they over time they can be very sensitive to being called stupid. Therefore, they want to work hard in acquiring knowledge.
So the result is that they are usually not very stupid. They are usually quite good in what they do.
Yes.
Because they put in so much work into it. So they're afraid to fail. So they'll do anything not to fail.
They are afraid of having their intellect being rejected.
So they will plan when they want to present something, when they want to say something. That's why they take so long. Talking about short trips, because short trips are familiar trips.
Yeah.
You plan them so that they don't go wrong, even though you do it maybe on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Because Saturn is about time. So Saturn likes to draw the time. So taking long trips and doing things over a long period of time is no problem.
And I also have clients with Saturn in the third house who has difficulty in sibling relationships.
There's a heaviness in relationships.
There's a difficulty there.
Saturn in the 4th house.
So 4th house in astrology is sort of like the base of who you are as a person. It talks about your family, your family history,
Your father.
your personal life.
Yeah, even your surname.
Yeah, your private life,
Yeah.
literally your roots, the roots of who you are.
And in your private space where you feel comfortable and you feel you feel at home. There's also about property and land, because home and base, the ground and everything.
With Saturn in the 4th house, you can expect that the person has a very strict upbringing.
Your home situation is quite traditional, because Saturn likes traditions.
Yeah.
I think home environment is also the actual physical environment.
Yes.
Right? So they will have old looking furnitures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they love that.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
When it comes to relationship with family members, particularly with your parents, can be difficult. So Saturn in the 4th house,
because there's a formality between members.
So Saturn is a very harsh energy.
Yeah, it's not one where you are friends with your father. Or,
it's not.
It's keep away.
It's quite strict. It's quite strict.
Hierarchy.
It's hierarchy, literally, right? It's like, I'm the father, you're the son, you shut up, you listen to me. Right? Saturn in the 5th house.
Children, creative activities.
Fun.
Hobbies.
Fun.
What you do for fun.
Pleasure.
Romances.
The house of
recreation. Speculation. We talk gambling.
Gambling, speculation. Yes.
It's because it's about being optimistic. It's a happy house.
Yeah.
Basically, you are confident that you will win in lottery or something. That's so the house of speculation.
So it's also the house of self-expression. So it's about creativity. It's about what you do for fun that makes you feel like you know, it's the house of your inner child. Ergo, when you have Saturn, this heavy, dark, depressing energy in this house of fun, what's going to happen?
Well, if you talk about children, he's definitely the disciplinarian. That means this person with Saturn in the 5th house is bringing that energy into the realm of children. So what is his attitude towards children is that he's don't have any nonsense with me, okay? Because I need to control you, otherwise you run wild. Simple as that.
Also, I find that people with Saturn in the 5th house, they will also have difficulty when it comes to giving birth. And when I say giving birth, I don't just mean giving birth to children, giving birth to your creative ideas.
Because it's all about a heaviness, a pessimism, about producing something.
And these are the types that will work very hard.
They take it so seriously. Yeah, it's just a hobby.
Yeah, it's
but
just
then,
a hobby.
No, it's not just a hobby to them. Yeah,
there's no just a hobby. It's
because they gotta do it well.
Yeah, if they're not gonna do it well, they're not even going to bother.
Don't do it for fun. Saturn in 5th house, people would do serious hobbies. Sometimes it's about class. You know, Saturn is about I'm up there, right? So they will do classy hobbies like archery. You know, all this has some atasness to it. What is atasness?
Atasness is in some kind of class and quality. It's revered in some way. What else?
Romances.
Romances.
They're not spontaneous, right? So when they like someone, it's very hard for them to approach that person, or when it comes to dating, he needs to plan out the approach of attack. I don't know.
And I will also say that they are not really into casual sex. For them, romances cannot be casual. They think it takes a lot of time and difficulty, right? Time, difficulty, Saturn, right?
Because Saturn is being so serious. So when you like someone, then it's like, okay, I need to... If it starts to feel serious, this whole affair starts to feel very serious. On the other hand, you know that these people are responsible, mature and serious.
I find that certain people...
There's a restriction when it comes to having fun.
They can't play. They don't know how to have fun. They don't know how to play.
They don't know how to let their hair down.
And Saturn in the 6th.
Why so happy?
No, I'm not happy. I just want you to start Saturn in the 6th.
6 is not
Six
not
is
one
not
of the happy houses.
6 is not a fun house.
Because it's the house of illness, the house of hard work and
it's
routine,
it's help, it's diet, it's work.
It's
your
not,
workplace.
not a fun house. Not a fun house. The house of colleagues, house of your work environment.
Okay, first thing, I find that people who study in the sixth house, they are quite workaholic. Especially in the early part of their lives, they are workaholics, and because they are workaholic, their health will suffer. Because sixth house is the internal system, the routine, your internal rhythm, okay? And when you have Saturn there, that's the part of your life that needs a lot of work, that you need to actually work hard for.
Yeah. So when it comes to daily efforts, Saturn needs planning, structure. They need to organize everything so things will go a certain way, right? They can't just go, okay, let's play by ear and see what we do today, because that's not their energy.
No.
Their energy, they need to know, okay, 8 o'clock we're doing this, 9 o'clock we're doing that, and 10 o'clock and so on.
They need to plan. I also find that people with Saturn in the sixth, they overcompensate for quite a bit, and sometimes what can happen is that they therefore overwork.
Yeah, I think they're concerned about quality, really, because they pride themselves at knowing what the standard is. So they do not want other people to see, oh, your work is shoddy or whatever. So they make efforts to make sure it's of a certain quality, so you can trust them.
Saturn in the sixth has very high standards when it comes to work, and it's the kind of employees that you want to have.
They follow the rules, and they'll be your police officers as well. They'll make sure that the processes are followed to the T.
Yes. Sixth house is not just about work. It's really about your routines, and if your routines are messed up, if you are not having enough rest, your body, your internal rhythm will suffer.
Yeah, so Saturn in sixth house, people, look after your health.
Saturn in the seventh house. Okay.
Seventh is about how you make formal agreements with people, and therefore it should be serious. Marriage, your marriage partner, your life partner, long-term partners, people you relate to on a serious basis. Maybe you have an appointment that you make, maybe a doctor with a patient. That would come under seventh house too.
One of the wonderful traits I think of people with Saturn in the seventh house is that they are very committing. They are very committing when it comes to agreements. They are very committing when it comes to relationships. I find that, so this is my opinion, I may be wrong, but I find that people with Saturn in the seventh house, they don't agree to something very lightly. Unless they are very sure that they are going to make it, they will say yes.
They are not spontaneous. They don't jump into something. They don't say, hey, let's do this together. Let's do this business together. Oh yeah, of course. That wouldn't be Saturn, right? I mean, it's just basically he wants to know all the details and make sure that it will work. Let's plan it together, and then he'll say yes.
Yeah. And Saturn in the seventh house, they tend to look for individuals, they tend to look for partners who are of a certain maturity level. It is not surprising that usually when they are young, they will find that their partner is older. Okay.
More mature.
Probably quite a few years, number of years ahead of them. When they are older and they're looking for partnerships, sometimes they may be the Saturn, and they're looking
playing the older role.
Yeah.
Relationship is a two-way thing. Sometimes you feel the energy to approach relationship a certain way, like taking it very seriously, and the other party don't see the same thing.
Yeah, and that can be very difficult.
I mean, Saturn obviously will take relationships seriously.
Yeah.
More seriously than most. So you see that you are going to be a lot more responsible than the other party, so you're going to be disappointed for sure.
Yeah, I think Saturn in the seventh house, people are very, very, very sensitive to rejection. Essentially, so seventh house is
failure.
Yeah, failure and rejection. Especially when it comes to other people. So when it comes to relationship failure, or agreement failure, or failure of agreements or contracts, they take it very, very seriously. And so seventh house is also what I call the house where you outsource things. Planets in the seventh house are outsourced. When they're planning in the seventh house, the energies of their planets are outsourced to other people. They may find that they need someone else to sort of be a taskmaster.
Relationship, marriage is not about falling in love. Shouldn't be based on love, according to Saturn. You must be a responsible husband, responsible mother, perform all your jobs, and that's the relationship. A bit boring, I must say, but anyway. I suppose it works for centuries in some sense. So it does work. It does work, but it's not for everyone. Okay, 8th house is a dark house. Okay, so imagine you come into this 8th house world of seedy characters, sex, death, rebirth, transformation, the occult topics like astrology, numerology, meaning of life, feng shui fall under here. And you have all the other people's money topics like insurance, investments. Can you think of other inwards?
Insurance, investment, inheritance.
Yeah, inheritance, thank you.
Sure.
It's also about risk taking. It's also a house of dangers. So it could be a house of like surgery, cutting, and going deep. And this is quite a scary house to be.
8th house is all the things that is taboo, all the things that is not seen. That it's there.
The back alleys.
Yeah, it's there, but you don't bring it out.
You don't go there unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
I think Saturn is the sense of having self-restrictions. So in these areas, he may not be very spontaneous. He would, like if you want to talk about investments and all that, he will not jump into it for sure. He may not even like it because he's got to, Saturn needs to know the structure behind the investments that he's going to make. If you're not going to let him know and it's not safe, he's not going to go there because it's a house about risk taking, and Saturn don't like to take risks because it will fail. Right? So just risk taking alone, he's not going to do that. No risky stuff. Do I want surgery? No, keep away.
Saturn in the 8th house is really about, I find that people with Saturn in the 8th house, when it comes to the ability to weather the crisis, it can be very difficult for them. They may intrinsically think that it's not going to work. I'll die in a crisis. So what's going to happen is that they are likely to find ways to plan. Yeah, they'll plan for crisis to happen.
Yeah.
These are the people that is currently rummaging the NTUC right now. I'm serious. People with Saturn in the 8th house, these are the people who want to plan for a crisis. So there's
for the next 1 year.
Yeah,
that's okay. I mean, in the context, in case you do not know, right? So there's a viral epidemic.
Yeah, the nCoV virus, the coronavirus
is happening in Asia. So panic buying. Everybody is buying enough toilet paper for 1 year. I think So I mean, people are buying food items and everything, and then toilet papers are also disappearing from the shelves, and people are just making fun of that. It's like, why toilet paper?
Yeah, and instant noodle, Maggi mee, and so this sort of thing. But essentially, people who study in the 8th house, they want to plan for crisis. But the thing about crisis is, you can never truly plan for anything.
Well, the thing is, if he has all the toilet paper, he doesn't ever need to worry about.
Well, major diarrhea.
Yeah.
I also say that people who study in the 8th, the logic of investment is, if you invest now, if you get any insurance right now, you can weather future crises. People that I know who study in the 8th house, I find that trust is a problem. Okay, trust is not a problem, but trust is something that they are resistant to do completely. 8th house is all about sexual intimacy. So trust and intimacy, they are something that come together.
Yes.
Okay? Like the whole idea of trusting their partner completely and wholeheartedly, and to go all in is something that they are resistant to. That there is difficulty in
but
they'll
be very responsible towards intimacy matters.
Yeah. But it's a trust, you see, like it's the whole idea of trusting someone completely, because 8th house is also about joint finances. When you combine resources of A and B together to a point whereby you don't know who is who, it requires a lot of that trust.
I think maybe trust is more relevant when Pluto is around. I think Saturn has a different slant to it. They're not afraid of trusting. I think they would make sure that they get to know you well. And then they have a responsible and mature way of connecting with you.
Saturn in the 9th house.
So it's about the legal system, because it's about doing things the right way, and there's a certain Sometimes it's about legal proceedings. There's a method to it, right? It's famously the house of religion, philosophy, higher learning, teaching, professorship, universities, institutions of higher learning.
Yeah, higher learning. Basically, it's ninth house is the expanded mind, which is we talk about third house in one of our videos. Third house is really the foundational mind. Ninth house is the expanded mind. It's about beliefs. It's about what is right, what is wrong, worldview. They are typically certificate collector because they always feel like their belief, that the philosophy that they have, the opinions that they have, their worldview is not good enough.
Unless it's certified.
Yeah, unless, yes, absolutely. Okay.
We forgot to mention the other things, broadcasting,
broadcasting,
and
yes.
Exploration,
Yeah.
and going to foreign places. They want to go out there and see what's out there because they want to grab knowledge.
Yeah.
And then what they know, they want to tell everybody.
Yes. So I think Saturn in the ninth house will manifest in this respect as if they want to travel, they will actually put a lot of effort into planning. In the planning.
Yes. No chances here.
Yeah. I think in terms of their ethics, in terms of their morality, they are quite strict.
They're the policemen. They make good policemen actually.
Yeah, because
they're
quite
the law enforcers.
Yeah, they're quite black and white in the way in their beliefs.
Yeah.
When it comes to religion, it is often possible that
they're quite traditional.
They go for organized religion.
Yeah, they're quite traditional and they follow the rules. They basically would follow the rules.
Yeah, they're rule followers.
Yeah, they're not spontaneous and they feel uncomfortable if the religion says you got to do this and do this, and well, they do it. They'll do it.
Saturn is about structure, so you can expect like these are the people that will go for very organized religion. No matter how weird Saturn is,
the more formal the setting, the better.
Yeah, the formal. No matter how weird it is. So if your Saturn is an Aquarius in the ninth, or if it has some kind of aspect to it, even with Uranus, right? Even if it's religion, even if it's some kind of belief system that is quite weird, say Wicca for example, or some kind of cult whatsoever, it has to be formalized, it has to have a formal rigid structure in some way. Saturn in the 10th house.
It's about reputation, how you want to be known.
Career.
Your
legacy in some way. Also your status.
Yeah.
Also authority figures, your authority.
And your mother.
Yeah, your mother.
It's also about the public space. How when you go to public space and people know who you are in that kind of situation.
So your professional life, your professional reputation, your public life.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you imagine people who settle in the 10th house?
They are probably a bit reserved. They will not be, oh hi, how are you? The first time I know you is like,
the handshake is very important.
I'm Mr. Somebody.
Hi, the handshake is very
the
important.
The CEO of something.
They are the types that's very concerned about like the
titles.
Titles, yes. Mr. Gabriele go BA in arts, honors. No, they probably just won't end with a BA. They probably want to go more, and they want to get they have a lot of other titles.
Yeah.
The idea of good enough is codified in the whole idea of whether I made it in life or not.
Yeah, and that's their way of showing you that they made it in life. But that's only to them. Some other people I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the thing about astrology.
People who stand in the 10th house, very likely that they work in very acceptable environments, specifically like very corporate environment, government. They want to rise high. They are the types.
They're responsible. That you look up to them because they are in responsible positions. They do the right thing. They won't step out of line, so they can be trusted with government jobs and responsible positions.
And they are corporate climbers. This whole getting recognition is something that they work very hard for, but they may feel that it's always denied somehow. And I find that people who study in the 10th house, the image that they put out there, the public image is very, very important.
Signification for mother, 10th house. Saturn, disciplinarian.
You can also expect that relationship with mother might be difficult.
Yeah. Not too friendly at all.
Mm-hmm. And I also feel like people who study in the 10th house, they have a lifelong kind of struggle with authority. Not necessarily like a power struggle in the Pluto kind of sense.
I think they respect authority.
Yes, but
do.
they're also very sensitive to authorities'
That
idea
means-
of like,
yeah.
they're not good enough.
I
This
think
whole
it's not-
idea of like, I want to prove myself to you, I want to prove myself to my mentors, to my father, to my mother, to the authority that's above me, that I'm good enough for you, can become a problem.
They expect the people in the authority to be responsible,
Oh, yeah.
not go out of the line,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the moment they fail in any way, you get disappointed.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what they expect of authority figures.
Yeah, you can expect that people with Saturn in the 10th house, they don't take well to career changes.
They go for
don't-
the long run.
They don't take well to career shifts, to career troubles. It's always very difficult for them. If they are retrenched, oh Lord, yeah, you can imagine.
Let's start again.
Yeah, Saturn in the 11th house.
11th house.
Okay, the idea of their community, the idea of their friends, their future plans. That's the part that is difficult for them.
11th house is also about any group that has a common purpose or a common identity. So sometimes it could be a famous company. So you're part of a group that goes under this famous company.
So 11th house is also about future plans. So you can expect people with Saturn in the 11th house to have relative pessimism when it comes to the future. Imagine people with Saturn in the 11th house when it comes to their community, right? These are the people that will actually put in effort.
They would be the one who organize the whole thing for everyone to pursue the same aim. Sometimes can be then the CEO of these organizations because they are the one who organize. And they can also be the CEO of companies.
So Saturn in the 12th house.
So it's the house of joy for Saturn because rightfully Saturn is very down, is very sorrowful, it's very pessimistic, like to spend a lot of time. 12th house is the place for the same things. Sorrow, reflection,
Isolation.
self-victimization, isolation and therefore hospitals,
institutions.
prisons, places where you pull yourself away from everybody else. Sometimes it could just be in your mind. You could be sitting in a room full of people and you are in your own world, and that could be your 12th house.
So 12th house is one of those houses that is it's very hard to really describe and put a finger on.
Yeah, because it's not of this world.
Literally it's not of this world.
The unconscious mind.
I would say people who study in the 12th, I would say they are not very disciplined because anything in the 12th house, you can expect that the energy is there, but it's not very, you're not very sure, you're not very clear, it is sort of in the background. I have people that I know with study in the 12th house, they are not, when I ask them how disciplined they are, they usually say, I don't know leh. 12th house is actually a part of your life that is difficult to come out into the open because it's so hidden, right?
Yeah.
Anything there, any planet there, you can find that the expression is not always clear.
Not overt.
Not
Because
overt.
it's hidden.
It may not be that this person is not disciplined, this person is disciplined but doesn't know how he stick to his own standards and routines. Also, I have an interesting story to share. I have a friend who has Saturn in the 12th. We went to Dharma school together when we were young, and he's the rascal in class. He's always making fun, he's always getting disciplined, getting scolded by the monks. And then guess what? In his Saturn return, he decided that he is not going to get married, he's going to be a monk.
Well, secluded from society.
Yes!
Yes.
Right,
Very
so I'm not saying that if you have
So being
Saturn there-
serious and taking himself from the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that if you have Saturn in the 12th house, you're going to be
A monk.
a monk,
Or none.
but it is very likely that
You could go to prison. Or stay in hospital. Sorry.
it is also very likely that you will want to put in some effort in some kind of spiritual discipline. It is also very likely that you want to do a bit of meditation.
I think they
yoga.
also could take the spiritual practices quite seriously.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think which is what my friend is essentially doing.
Yeah,
you
as
know?
a monk, yes. They don't mind spending a lot of time on their own.
Yeah.
Because Saturn is time.
Yeah.
So a lot of time in reflection.
A lot of their sense of accomplishment is not very worldly. Because Saturn is about, being good enough, right? So I would say that a lot of their sense of accomplishment, a lot of their sense of like whether I'm good enough is not a worldly thing. When it comes to operating in the worldly kind of environment, they're not very clear what it is that they are trying to accomplish. Because Saturn is in the 12th, the energy of good enough is sort of hitting the background. When you ask them outright, so what does it mean to be happy? What does it mean to achieve something or to be successful? They can't really give you a very straight answer.
Yeah, because the energy, the water energy of
The
12th
12th
house dissolve a lot of things. What Saturn could be, being grounded, being ambitious. So now in the 12th house of being lost and everything, literally lost. Not having that strong desire for achievement in general, like if it's in the 10th house, right?
Yeah.